Hey, what's up guys? Kevin here from Canadian Card Pickers, and today I've got a video where we're going to look back at December and see what the most expensive cards sold on eBay were for December. I think this is just kind of something fun. We can look at some of the most expensive cards out there. It's something that I like to do when I'm just kind of poking around eBay, is just see like, okay, what's some of the crazy stuff out there? So I figured let's do it. It's a little tricky to try and find specific date ranges. There's no way to search eBay as far as I know. If you guys know, please let me know. Will make my life a lot easier. But there's no way to like search when was this sold. You can't do like date greater than this, date less than this. So I kind of had to just scroll by order of most expensive and just pick out everything that was December. So it was a little bit of a pain, but let's jump into it. I'm very curious if you guys can even think what these would be. I didn't expect some of them I was a little not taken back, surprised by. That's the word. So let's do it. Let's jump in. So coming in at number 10, so this is the least expensive out of the top 10, we have 1952 Topps Jackie Robinson. So this card sold, I'm putting all the prices in USD. I know a lot of you folks are in the US, so it just makes more sense. And a lot of people who aren't, in Canada specifically, or the US, might reference US prices, and that makes it easier. So this one sold at just under $6,200. It was $6,179 US. It is a graded card of Jackie Robinson. It's a PSA 2, not amazing, but it is slabbed, so you know the condition's not going to degrade over time. And Jackie Robinson, if you don't know, maybe you're a younger collector, Jackie Robinson was the first black player. There's no other way to put it. He was the first black player to play in the major leagues. He went through a lot of stuff. If you guys haven't seen the movie 42 featuring the late Chadwick Boseman, definitely check it out. It was absolutely amazing. It really captured the difficulties and struggles he had coming up into the majors as, the only non-white player. So definitely check that out. But yeah, Jackie Robinson, such an important player. Without him, we wouldn't have some of the amazing players that we have. Well, we would, but just the road wouldn't have been paved as early, and they might not have jumped in, right? So such a important card. I also really love the art style of the 1952. This is also where you find Mickey Mantle's, as I think that's his rookie card, is the 1952. This is the first Topps iteration of baseball cards. So definitely such a cool card, part of history, first series of Topps, and it's Jackie Robinson. So I totally agree. This one's worth quite a bit. If I had money, I'd have no problem, nabbing one of these cards. I'd probably try and find something a little better grade, but still just a piece of history. So coming in after this one at number 9 is 1954 Hank Aaron. So this is part of the Topps collection. Hank Aaron, another just huge important player. Unfortunately, we lost him at the beginning of 2021. It took many people from us, but this one is a little higher grade. This is a little better condition at PSA 4, so obviously better condition means better value. And this one sold just under $7,500. Whenever I put kind of the around, if you don't know, that's what the little tilde is. It means around this much. It's because it was a buy it now and someone made an offer, and they don't make it public what that is. And I'm not going to message these people. They're probably not going to say. So some people might, but it's just not worth the time. So yeah, I totally agree with this one as well. Hank Aaron was just such a staple to, the entire scene of baseball. Very, very involved after his retirement. I'm not sure, because Jackie Robinson debuted, I think he debuted in the 40s. So by 1952, he'd been in there a bit, but once he broke the color barrier, it opened things up for other people who were playing in, for instance, the Negro Leagues. That's what they were called. And they would do tours playing in that league specifically. They weren't playing against white players, but once Jackie Robinson did, it broke the door and the floodgates open for folks like Hank Aaron and others to follow suit. So it's just amazing what happened, in the wake of Jackie Robinson making history. So I totally agree. Hank Aaron, really good card. Whoever got this, props to you. It's a nice one. With this style, that is a facsimile autograph that you can see at the bottom right. It isn't a real one. Otherwise, someone would probably also get this autograph authenticated, especially because if the card, back then they didn't release the cards with autographs as far as I know. You'd have to go and get it signed by someone, so you're not going to have like top certified autograph, signed in front of a Topps person. So you always have to be careful when it comes to cards like this, if there's a real autograph, not a facsimile like this, on whether or not it is an actual authentic autograph. You want to make sure you go to like Beckett or go to JSA or something like that to authenticate the auto. Moving on to number 8, we have a 1953 Topps Willie Mays. Again, around the same time, Willie Mays, another, great player at that time. After the color barrier was broken open, he was able to come in and shine and is a notable name to this date. This one sold for just under $9,000. Don't know the exact price. It isn't graded, but the autograph is authenticated. So this is a perfect example of what I talked about before. If you were to come across this card, how are you to know that's an authentic autograph? Well, this person submitted this to Beckett or whoever got it authenticated, and they said, yep, this is his autograph, you're fine. But it's not graded, so you don't really know what the condition is, but it's not too bad when you look at it. Obviously, this was a card that's been around for a while, not the greatest care. You can see the corners, you can see discoloration and stuff, but again, Willie Mays, amazing. He's not selling you OxyClean. He's, he was playing the game. One of my dad's favorite players, as well as some of those, other old timer players like Roger Maris, Mickey Mantle and stuff. So, absolutely wonderful card, around $9,000, and that's not even graded. So that's just authenticated as a legit autograph. But autographed cards going to be a lot more rare than say just a base card, because you had to be there with the person and get them to sign it. They weren't distributing cards with autographs on them quite yet, as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, great card. Moving on to number 7. This one's a little different. I was surprised. I thought I was talking about cheese, but this is a 1933 Goody Babe Ruth. It did say SGC 30, but also SGC 2. A little confusing. I'm not quite sure how that all works and when it comes to their grading. So I kind of put like SGC 30 up here because that was kind of the name, but I think it's an SGC 2 based on another card that we'll see later. But yeah, this was a bubblegum one. So, but for those that don't know, Babe Ruth was actually George Herman Ruth. Babe was his nickname, obviously, although you never know back then. But this one's from 1933. It's sold at $9,250 US, which I think totally reasonable. This is Babe Ruth we're talking about. And the cards, even though it's only a 2, like the image is still very vibrant. There's not any tearing or rips. It's just really bad bad corners bent over, kind of dog-eared a bit, but the image just stands out. The color hasn't faded too much. It's still, those reds and the, the blues and all that. They just look really good. So as far as condition, even though it's a low graded card, it still looks absolutely amazing. Like this would be a great addition to any collection. So totally think that this price makes a lot of sense. Moving on to number 6, we have another 1948 Leaf Jackie Robinson card, or actually, yeah, this is just a different set of one. So this one sold at $9,350. This one is SGC 3. Weird because it doesn't have that strange 30, so I'm not quite sure what the difference is between the two. Maybe they're different types of grading like PSA has or Beckett. But yeah, so this is his rookie card. A decent grade on this one, and it's like colors, I'm not quite sure what this would have looked like fresh printed, but it's tough to say. This one I think is more photo. This about when they started to do more photographs instead of like more paintings and that kind of thing. So great card. Again, Jackie Robinson, such an important part of the baseball world and what he did, and to get his rookie card would be absolutely amazing. Coming in at number 5, another Babe Ruth. This is a lot more recent than I would have expected, but there's a reason. This is part of the 2017 Leaf Executive Collection, and this is a Babe Ruth cut autograph. For those of you that don't know, the difference between just a, on-card autograph and a cut autograph is what they did is they cut Babe Ruth's autograph or any other player from something they've signed. Maybe an old check, an old contract, just anything like that. They cut it off, and then or even a letter maybe, and then they create a card that uses that. So very often they're one of ones, or extremely limited. But yeah, again, cut, more likely to be one of one. So this one is authenticated, but not graded, but it's a recent card. So if you look at the picture, you can see the condition's pretty good. But this one sold for around $10,000, a little under it. Not sure the exact price, but definitely worth it to get an autograph of Babe Ruth that is authenticated and legitimate. Just absolutely amazing. So this one surprised me a bit because when I was going through all of the cards, most of them were old cards of older players, right? But this one kind of came out of the blue, and I was like, whoa, 2017, what? And then I saw it was Babe Ruth, and I went, okay, that makes a little more sense. So that's number 5. We're halfway through this. There's just so many good cards out there. It's insane. But let's jump to number 4. Number 4, this is what confused me. This is another 1948 Leaf Jackie Robinson rookie card. So this one's more expensive than the other. The reason being is because the other one was SGC. This one's PSA. That's my take. Even though this one's a 2, it's a PSA grade, and PSA tends to have a little more... they're a little more particular when it comes to their grading. So that's just a note for any of you thinking about grading anything. You want to make sure that you're sending your best to PSA, because if you go to them thinking, oh man, this is at least a 9 or a 10, you might get a 6 or a 7, depending on the conditions. So you want to be very particular sending to PSA and any other grader, but especially PSA. But this one, PSA 2, still good condition. You can see it's very similar to the other one. I wouldn't say it's insanely different. Even if we go back here, if you look at that, they the colors maybe a little bit better. You can see this one, the colors are better. Tough to say. Could be the camera, better saturation, or the edit. But just again, PSA, people tend to prefer that just because, if you get a PSA 10, it is the best condition possible compared to a a SGC 10 or a Beckett 10, just because PSA, a little more particular. And this one sold for $11,000. Absolutely insane. But again, it's a Jackie Robinson rookie. So, I'm not surprised. Moving to number 3, a little more recent. This one also kind of surprised me, but also didn't. This made sense. It's a 1994 Upper Deck. So it's not Topps, it's not Leaf. It is Upper Deck when they were still really in the baseball game. And it's a dual card. It is Mickey Mantle and Ken Griffey Jr. both signed it. So this one has been graded, which is great. And as part of the grade, they also did the additional authentication just to make sure, because come on, Mickey Mantle and Ken Griffey, I'd be, hesitant. So this one sold for around $12,500. It was graded PSA 10, which, depending on when it was graded, is understandable. A little bit of wear since, almost 20 years ago. So, yeah, but it's a great looking card. I love kind of the watercolor look to it, the painting of both of them, something that you don't really see too much. It's kind of cool. It's a throwback a bit to the Mickey Mantle rookie card. So obviously 2 greats of their time, Ken Griffey Jr. just being absolute stellar player through the 90s, and really, I think, brought a lot of my generation into it. He was the Michael Jordan of baseball. I think that's the best way to put it. They kind of were around the same time. And he had that smile. He just, played so well that everyone knew who Ken Griffey Jr. was, right? Even if you didn't play baseball or watch it really, you knew who he was, just like everyone knows who Michael Jordan is. So Absolutely 100% agree that this is an amazing card. I'd love this as part of my collection, but a little out of my price range. But yeah, on to the next one. This one really surprised me, to be honest. And this is a 1993. I'm assuming, I think SP is the, oh no, yeah, Upper Deck SP. That's kind of like their, I can't remember what SP stands for, but they have it in hockey. But this is a Derek Jeter rookie card, foil. And it's graded at 9.5 with Beckett. So PSA, that might be more like a 9 or something like that. But good centering. It's corners. Could use a little work. This person went with the subcategory stuff. So you can get the points. You could go with just like fixed, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of 1.5, 2.5, that kind of thing. But yeah, this person decided to go for the sub numbering, I can't remember the word is, subgrading. But this one sold for around $16,500. Absolutely mind-blowing. But, you know, I think Derek Jeter does justify it. He, you know, really defined a time. You know, jokes are still made. You know, he was very popular. I'd say he'd be like the East Coast version of, you know, Ken Griffey. Just people knew Derek Jeter, Yankees, big name, big team. But, you know, obviously he didn't get caught up in all the stuff that, say, A-Rod got into when it came to performance enhancing. As far as I know, I don't think Derek Jeter was one of those people. But yeah, it's interesting too that he's moved on to the Marlins. I didn't expect that. I expect he'd be more involved with the Yankees, but you know what? He probably lives down in Florida, the weather, all that, retired, and then decided, let's get involved. I think he's partial owner or something like that. I could be wrong. But yeah, definitely. Definitely a cool card, but again, surprised me. I expected someone a little more old-timey in this spot. But again, this is a monthly thing, so this is the most expensive cards ever. This is just what sold in December at the highest. So what can you do? Alrighty. So for the final card, this is number 1. I want you guys to, after I say this, pause the video and let me know what player you think this is going to be. Don't go ahead. Be honest about this. Put in the comments who you think is number 1, who takes the top spot as the most expensive card sold in December. Let me know. And then once you're done, we can continue on. So now that you've unpaused, let's have a look. In first place as the most expensive card sold in December for a baseball card, it is a 1991 Donruss Ken Griffey Jr. error card. So how this one is an error is very weird. They didn't misspell his name. They didn't forget something on the front or anything. All that there is on this error card is, and I included an image where it says 1990 Leaf ink. There's supposed to be a little period after the ink or a dot, and they forgot that because that's supposed to be a short form for incorporated. And so with this printing, they forgot that, and I guess they corrected it. So I guess there's versions of this that have it. Must be somehow rare, but yeah, this one sold for around $20,000 US. Absolutely insane, especially too because like you're kind of sitting in that weird junk era for baseball cards, right? Only like even a good card is kind of garbage, right? You can buy packs of some of this stuff from this time frame for $10, right? You know, for a whole box and things like that. So I'm not sure specifically with the 91 Donruss, could be different. It's not his rookie card or anything, but yeah, this one sold for around $20,000 because it's an error card and Ken Griffey Jr. This one's not graded. You can see the corners really banged up. I'm surprised someone would spend that much, so it must be super rare, but I feel like for myself personally, I wouldn't. If you're a big, like if you collect Ken Griffey Jr. and you don't care about any other ones, then totally I could see this being worth it. But I know for myself, I prefer cleaner cards, you know, that's just kind of my style. But yeah, there you guys have it. That is the top 10 cards sold in December of 2021. Let me know what you think. If you guys would like me to continue doing this on a monthly basis, I'm totally down. I might still do it, but let me know what you think. Do you agree with some of these cards? Do you think there should be some other stuff in here? Keep in mind, this is all stuff that's sold, so there could be stuff that's still worth more than these, but they just didn't happen to sell during the month of December. There was a lot of stuff from like October and November that, would be cards that I'm sure a lot of you would love, but I think there was one Shohei Ohtani in there, and it was absolutely nuts. Yeah, there you guys go. A lot of older cards in this one. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe so you can catch more content. We do openings. I do peripheral videos regarding baseball cards and stuff like that. The occasional non-baseball card as well. For instance, Pokemon, MetaZoo is something we're getting into. Sometimes hockey. But really, I focused on baseball. Make sure to like the video, and if you guys really want to help contribute to the channel, definitely make sure to watch some of the older videos, as well as make sure to consider joining as a member. It's not super expensive, but it goes a long way to helping support the channel and getting things to make the channel better, do more videos, that kind of thing. So yeah, thank you so much, you guys. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, your night, or your morning, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.